What's hiding underneath things can be scary. Underwater, under your bed, especially what's under your carpet. Except when you get new carpet from Carpet One Floor and Home. After tearing up your old carpet, they'll vacuum and apply Health Annex antimicrobial to your subfloor, disinfecting and killing mold, mildew, and any remaining general awfulness. Carpet One Floor and Home goes the extra mile to protect you, your family, and your home. Carpet One Floor and Home in Columbia, making your home beautiful, guaranteed.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Tuesday, June the 30th. We've got a little bit of a different conversation this morning. I want to introduce you to Mickey Havner. Mickey isn't in the studio with us. She's on the phone at this point. And Mickey had been on once before. Mickey is an end-of-life doula. And if you're not familiar what an end-of-life doula is, we'll have Mickey Havner explain that to you, and then we want to get into a personal experience she had. Good morning, Mickey.
Good morning. How are you, Paul?
I'm fine. Explain to our listeners and viewers what you do as an end-of-life doula.
An end-of-life doula does end-of-life and after-death care, education, advocacy, guidance, and support for a person and their loved ones.
So it's not just for the person that is dying. It's also for the family and friends who are close to that person, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you find that you are giving as much support to the dying person or more support to the people who are going to be left behind? Or is it pretty much even?
Well, it just depends on the situation. You know, if a person who's dying has like emotional pain, maybe because they need forgiveness or they want to forgive someone, then we work with that. On the other hand, if the person, the loved one, is just distraught and doesn't know which way to turn, then I work with that person and just try and give them support and encouragement. I'm an ordained minister. My spiritual gifts are encouragement and faith and compassion. And it's perfect for what I'm doing.
Do you find that once a person has forgiven or has been forgiven, that it makes their transition to the next life much easier? Yes,
it does. They often become much more calm, less agitated. They feel like they're ready to pass on.
So they accept what is happening and they go in a more peaceful way. And this is what an end-of-life doula does. Now, you recently went through the dying process with your brother. Do you want to explain that?
Yes, I'd like to share that. One of the things I learned in my doula training is how that other cultures experience grief less traumatically than we tend to in this country if and because they sit with the body after the death and they're not in a hurry to call the funeral home. So right after I was on your program 3 months ago, my sister called me one day. I was in an appointment with someone else, and she called, and I just pressed that little thing on my phone that says, I'll call you back. And within a minute or two, her next-door neighbor called me and asked me if I knew what all the excitement was next door. So I ended my appointment and called my sister-in-law right back. And she told me my brother was unresponsive. And so I went there as quickly as I could, and he had already passed when I got there. And the sheriff and the fire department and the ambulance were all there. But I remembered this discussion in my training about spending time with the body of the deceased. And so I excused the sheriff's deputy, and he was rather anxious to call the funeral home, and I suggested he not do that. And my sister-in-law and I sat there, and we talked to each other. We talked to my brother. We held his hands. We ran our fingers through his hair. We hugged him. We hugged each other. And for about 2 hours, actually. And what I found out is this is so true, that my grieving over my brother has been so much more gentle than it was over other family members that I've lost, that I was also very close to. So I'm kind of on a crusade to encourage people to spend time with their loved one after they pass.
It's bringing about a more natural closure.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because a situation like that happened with my mother when she died.
Yes.
In fact, before we called the funeral home, we cleaned her and bathed her, changed the sheets, and let her lay in the bed very peacefully. And then we called the funeral home, and it felt right. It felt like it was the right thing to do.
Yes.
And anytime you lose someone close to you, that's dear to you, a part of you is going with that person. But by showing respect at the end, you also are keeping a part of that person with you in your heart and in your soul and in your mind.
Yes, I think so.
You know, Mickey, there are so many different things that we could talk about, but we are out of time for today. If people feel that they need to or want to contact a doula, you have training on this. How do they get in touch with you?
You can call me at 573-808-5541.
Okay. Mickey Havner, thank you so much for visiting with us. You were in chaplaincy at Boone Hospital, correct?
Yes.
Years ago, and I remember you from that. Again, it was a pleasure chatting with you. Mickey, we'll get you back again. Tomorrow, Talking Hearts Productions and First Chance Diaper Drive. If there's something you would like to hear I'd love to hear from you. Drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu. Bye-bye.